Hello, I'm Perigon. Is Superliminal and running all collectibles. I'll do a quick intro of or run over what the game is, because we get straight into glitches. It's a puzzle perspective game that perspective. It's a puzzle game that relies a lot on your perspective, and you can change the size of objects mainly, just with where you're looking. But I might as well just get started. So time will start as I go through this door in 3, 2, 1, go. So, as I said, right immediately, we're going to be doing a rook launch to get through a lot of the level, just immediately. Patience a bit slow. But if you just resize it above your head and jump... Whoa! That's insanely high. I'm going to restart. That's weird. I didn't mean to restart, I meant reset checkpoint. It's not ever launched me nearly that high. That might be a problem. I will try that again. If not, I'll just take intended, just because there's no collectibles in this first half. Yep, okay. Gonna have to take the intended route here, because there's no collectibles until like halfway through the level, so we just launch halfway across the level. But obviously it's gone a bit high there, so just take a detour. I didn't think I'd done like one run of this section in around a year, so hopefully I remember it. It's pretty simple considering it's an introduction to the mechanic. But yeah, it's just resizing stuff and getting in our way for the start. Make some big cheese as a ramp for us. Here, I think, here's the first collectible up here. I probably should have explained. There are 5 main tracked collectibles, which is what we base the category off. There are fire extinguishers, fire alarms, these little chess pieces up here, blueprints, and constellations. There we go. Now back to what I know. There are a lot of fire alarms and fire extinguishers throughout the levels. Not in induction. I think there's like 1 or 2 maybe. But they're all at the end for this. Got to get through all the boring stuff. Trust me, the later levels are a lot more interesting. But there are more collectibles technically than what we're going to collect here. But oh jeez. There are only the fire alarms, fire extinguishers, constellations, chess pieces, and blueprints are actually tracked. So getting to the end here, where we're going to be doing the first sort of trick, or second sort of trick, but first one I can actually show. Cheese or dairy free, where if we hit this button and walk up to this falling wall, its physics unlocks and we can just like walk through it. If you get slightly inside an object, the physics just sort of turn off and you can push almost anything, which is nice. Oh, okay, unfortunate. You usually can jump over a little bit of geometry on the wall here to get across instead of using the cheese if it wants to work with me. Because there's just a blueprint back here before we can complete the level. Like that, there we go. Feels like my jump's a bit low, not sure why. Oh well. But that's the first level, induction out the way, and we get to move into optical, which is the next one. Gotta go through a cool loading screen first. Superliminal likes to mess around with loading screens. I think it does load before it's done. It just likes to show you the full animation they've made. But here we go. Fire alarms and fire extinguishers. This first little section there will appear in almost every level at the start before it kind of diverges into something different. But this is optical, which is based around optical illusions. And with how you look at them, which is useful for the perspective thing. None of them yet. It's mostly sort of near the end. We've got the first one here, which you're supposed to like look at through the hallway, but we're kind of looking away when it is most effective. Unfortunately. Oh, just do a bit of parkour to skip some puzzles. And grab that black blueprint over there. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to say, unfortunately. Blanking. Get back into puzzles now, at least, and I can talk a bit about them. We get introduced to Dr. Glenn Pierce here. I can't remember if he's spoken before. Probably has. Unfortunately, I don't remember. I usually have dialogue off, so I'm not too familiar with it anymore. There we go. And another puzzle there that we're supposed to solve, or looks like we're going to solve, but we can just sort of use the cube we already have and sort of climb our way up to the end with a object resize, which were going to be an intended mechanic, but I think got cut out because they were too confusing, which is unfortunate, and they are kind of confusing to do as a beginner. Here is what I was... knowing what happened with the Rook launch, this could go incredibly... No, it's fine. Incredibly wrong. Thankfully, the roof stopped us. Just use that called a warp launch, which is set up to usually warp us a distance, but we don't warp anywhere and just get thrown into the ceiling instead of climbing up that. Now, this is a constellation room, which you just have to line up some stars and get to watch a small animation. But once it's done, I can reset checkpoint to a checkpoint that I got just after there.
Hello.
To move on with the level, this one it has a lot of optical illusions that we're mostly going to ignore because they aren't too hard of a puzzle, unfortunately. And just hop up here and grab one of the fire extinguishers that's hidden away from us. And this is the launch that I was trying to do earlier, that you just resize it above you and you get shot up. Just to grab this one on top of the vents. A lot of these are, obviously you can reach them without glitches, they just lose a lot of time in comparison to it, and unfortunately a lot of the sound effects in this game also get quite loud sometimes. Particularly in one level, which has been dubbed the nuclear bomb, which was supposed to be a bit of thunder, but it's just absurdly loud, which I will warn you for, because yeah, it does get, probably will drown me out talking. But this is probably one of the most collectible dense parts that I think got... I can't remember when the routing got changed. We just steal the moon real quick. Probably should have mentioned that. And steal some stuff off it. Another quick launch. Bring ourselves up here. Getting a lot of achievements. Grab that and just move along. Bring the ends with us. And that is optical. I think I got every collectible. And we get to move on to cubism. But first, we do have to sit through the cool loading screen. I think it's like, I don't actually know how many different ones there are, or it's just a boring one. No, it's cool. A little bit boring than the last one, but oh well. Yes, here's the repeated beginning of the room. Just like a little hotel lobby, I guess. I know this game has some sort of lore that relates to, that I didn't keep up with and never really have. I think it's like, I know it's dream therapy, that's just sort of going wrong, and you're falling into more and more dreams, and it's becoming unstable, but we haven't gone into that many dreams yet, so it's not really brought up yet. Hello? Thank you. Another constellation. Unfortunately, we have to wait for this short animation to play out before we can move along to a long hallway. So, donations, I forgot I can call donations, but donations or plugs or whatever, you can let them go now.
Yep, I'll take this moment to remind everyone that the Twitch revenue that we receive throughout the event will also be given to charity, which includes bits, subscriptions to the channel as another way to support Game On Cancer. So for those at home who want to support, you can also do so that way, or through donating towards any of the incentives that we have coming up. Thank you so much for the support so far.
Sweet. So yes, we can grab that quick collectible through the bottom of the vent, because it doesn't have collision for some reason. Useful to us. We'll save this little block for later, and grab some collectibles over here. And because this door is unfortunately blocked off, we're going to take a quick shortcut through the wall, to skip a part where there's no collectibles, because the ledge grab mechanic doesn't check for there's something being in the way of what you're ledge grabbing. It only checks for stuff on the ledge. So with that, there was a small thing where you could ledge grab behind the wall with nothing above it, and it let us just climb through the window that you're usually not supposed to go through. Here we got some moving cubes. Cubism is basically just different cool cubes, a lot that we're skipping, unfortunately. Oops. Let me ledge grab there. Thank you. I think that's mostly it for collectibles this level, or these cooler collectibles. It's just a lot of fire extinguishers and fire alarms. There is a payoff for collecting them, because if you collect all the fire extinguishers, they turn into fire extinguishers and will shoot flames. I don't think the... Oh no, the fire alarms make it rain on the menu screen. Oh, no, 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 thank you. Okay. Doesn't matter anymore because I dropped it. Usually we do a warp launch with that little face of the cube to make climbing up there a little easier. Usually not that hard, but stuff happens. And we finish off cubism and move into blackout. Yeah, blackout. Also got little advertisements on the elevator. I'm losing a lot of words. So if you're looking to get lucky, you can go to the casino they have. What's a little bit of a broken loading screen. Boring. But this is a bit of a detour from the normal. Instead of going over there, we go into these cabinets into another constellation, which will be a big wheel of cheese. There. There we go. Cheese. Unfortunately, you can't grab the constellations or bring them with you. They're just kind of there and fade out. But normally after a constellation, you'll reset checkpoint, but it's actually faster to reset level because of where you get spawned. Obviously, we haven't collected a checkpoint, so we get put in the same place, but slightly further back from a checkpoint. Notice have a long section of clicking a ton of fire extinguishers and Glenn Pierce dialogue. Hopefully I don't miss any. Yep. And then unfortunately, blackout happens, like the name of the level. But this blackout is just a lot of walking, unfortunately. It's supposed to be like a horror style level to play with your perspective of like what genre the game is. But yeah, unfortunately that just means there's a lot of walking and slamming doors. So again, donations or anything are free for now, and for pretty much the rest of the level.
Yep, we had $20 come in from Ginger Nut, who says, donation for Perigon, who is running the game that messes with my head the most.
Yeah, bit of a trippy game. I don't think I even completed it, like, without a walkthrough or anything. I had to look up, like, multiple, because some of the puzzles are very confusing. Now, you may be wondering why I'm bringing this new, canister with us. Because we are going to be trying a warp launch that I am now thinking I probably shouldn't do, because I'm not gonna do that. Normally, you launch up there and through, and just like skip a bit of walking that, you don't need to do. But looking at how other launches... That's a corner launch! Looking at how the other launches in the game have gone, it's probably gonna give me a horrible launch that I don't want. It'll probably lose me a minute. So I'm gonna avoid that. It could... Oh, wait, actually... Yeah, okay. Might turn that on, see how that goes, because launches are related to frame rate. Higher the frame rate, higher the launch, so there's a chance I am running on a super high frame rate, and that's why I'm launching so high. So I'll see how that goes. Normally, you kind of skip basically all the way over to here and grab this light. You can... Actually, no. Well, you can do this section without grabbing the light, but because we have to get something on top of all these blocks, we grab it anyways and just use it to launch us up and see a bit, because this is supposed to be a pitch black maze that you're supposed to go through. And now, because we launched with that, everything is going to be incredibly red, because that sign is pretty much taking up the entire level as far as I'm aware, and lighting everything up for us, which makes some of the dark sections that don't really come up anymore easier. It has the name Red Out instead of Blackout. And here is another little collectible dense section. I get... Oh, no. I was aiming low. There we go. You can very, very slightly grab that blueprint through a little gap in the little racks here instead of having to climb all the way over. We still do have to go back with a little bean ladder for us, or bean step, that we use to climb up there, and we'll once again launch, which we can see if it... Yeah, okay, there you go. That's a lot better. Did I grab that? Yeah. So, resetting checkpoint again, just to get back to that idea generator, and all the lights turn back on. And there's supposed to be a reveal there that all the blood throughout the level is actually red paint, but I kind of forgot to mention that. Yeah, it's supposed to be horror, and there's red paint everywhere, tricking you it's blood, and something's gone wrong, but they're just painting stuff. Lore, I don't really care about. Yes. So, loading screen that's just not sure if it's loading or not. Once again, little hotel lobby. Nothing interesting here. We get to move on to clone, which you'll never guess what the mechanic is. You can clone stuff, except this door, which you can't for some reason. I think it's just because you have to solve this first puzzle, which you just kind of bring it across, plop on the button, move along, but we will be able to show off the cloning mechanic in a moment, once we get down this hallway. Here we go. There you go, you can clone stuff. Takes a moment for it to come into play, but here we can use it to make a staircase over the wall. And one thing I'll quickly mention before the next glitch is about to happen. Clone is the only level you can look directly down in. Every other level has a little bit of a cap that stops you from looking directly down, which is useful for this launch, which is pretty much called a clone launch. Not pretty much, it is called a clone launch, where you just look down, place something, and it throws you into the air. Or, there you go. Flapping. Okay, I thought I missed that because no hand popped up. We can move on, make a little staircase out of the alarms, which will now ring throughout the rest of the level until we get far enough to not hear them anymore. No, they got respawned. I forgot it did that. Never mind. They ring for a little bit, and they're very annoying. Here we can make fun. Well, not make fun. We can make use of that mechanic of clipping into things to move them, and just shove that apple out the way instead of having to wait for it to drop from the ceiling. Little volume warning because that fan gets very loud. And another gimmick with clone is you can grab these fire alarms from like as far away as you want. Normally there's a little bit of a cap, which makes them really, really annoying to hit because you can only click that little white part of it. But because we can grab them far away, it's not really of an issue in clone. Quick detour to climb up here and grab another chest piece. But yeah, a lot of these collectibles all like individually unlock something after you collect them all. Fire extinguishers obviously turn into fire extinguishers. The fire alarms make I think they can like rain on the home screen. Constellations mean you can pretty much walk in the like home screen, if that makes sense. Like the main menu, you can like play in it, I guess. Chess pieces unlocks a secret ending where you win a chess game. I think it's the first game Gary Kasparov lost to Blue something. Big Blue, yeah. Deep Blue, yes, sorry. Misheard. Blue, yeah. But, but yeah, that's clone. Pretty nice level in terms of difficulty. Apple farm. And some messed up dialogue. And we finally, next level, get to move on from the beginning, which is not just going to the side. We go backwards to a different door in the beginning, to a cool screen with some clouds on it and some music. I think it's supposed to be the relaxation center, although I could be wrong. Go behind this secret door. We'll go to the secret door behind the door for another constellation. Again, pretty long walking section coming up, so donations or plugs, you can read them out.
Yep, we have several donation incentives over the course of the marathon, and the next one coming up for the Spyro Year of the Dragon Reignited run is that you can pick Spyro's color: pink, black, green, or blue. Currently, pink is in the lead, but if you want to see any of the other colors, be sure to get your donations in. And we also have a bonus game for Farming Simulator 2019, which will be really fun to get to watch. So be sure to get your donations in and get those runs happening.
Sweet. So this level is Dollhouse, where you get to get to resize little houses that you go in, which lets you do some like scale stuff, which can get very weird at big scales. Dollhouse is pretty simple. We have a visual line up to make sure we're at the perfect size for this next door, which I hopefully hit correct. Okay, not allowed to go up there. Usually you're able to ledge grab up there. Cut that very tight. Once again, a little bit of a walking section. Game really loves just doing nothing sometimes. Usually for like dialogue and to, you know, little story drops. But once again, I have, not kept up with that in the slightest. We move on to quite an annoying, not really annoying, it's annoying as a beginner, but we can resize this fan against that glass to blow that off the top of a Jenga tower and resize one of the windows off a wall to climb through, hopefully. Yeah, there you go. Again, with whole resize, quickly walk into this portal to set us back to, you know, big scale. And is the jump even going to allow me to get that? Hello? Thank you, okay. That's, again, not normally an annoying one to hit. My jump does seem quite capped, which I know has something to do with frame rate, but I did not mention that, so sort of my fault. Not too bad. We can quickly take a detour to climb up here and grab one of the blueprints that are hidden with the bouncy house. And we're going to go into this bouncy house eventually. Another quick line up to have it be a perfect scale, but I forgot jumps make that difficult. Just gonna do that a bit. No, I'm not used to this. Hold on a moment. Technical difficulties. Oh my. No, I am not having a good time. I'm gonna do it like this. This might be more effective. There. Smart. Solving puzzles. But we then now grab our dollhouse back that we were just in and place it at the end. That fell really fast. Scared me a bit. And first bit of proper out-of-bounds shenanigans, I think. We're going to place this through the top of this door if it ever doesn't. Thank you. Place it through the door. There you go. Okay. Once again, jumps screwing me over a little bit. There you go. Grab that blueprint, grab the final dollhouse, and leave that level. Dollhouse is never a fun level in, like, any category. Oh yes, cat. Cardboard Lovers Association. Move into the second last level, Labyrinth, which repeats itself a lot. Another fun little loading screen. There we go. Where completely different start. We've woken up in a weird corridor, and we're going to have emergency exit protocol happen in some time. I'm just actually going to give up on that. I'm not going to be able to make that. Normally, you can do some parkour to jump over a little trigger there. That triggers dialogue. Loses like 11 seconds, but there's not much I can really do about that. Use a bit of a can and climb a bit more. Or not. I have to back up. Oh, it's more the main strap, but might back up. There we go. There we go. That's the second audio skip, another quick audio trigger we can skip, which was found on accident through one of those corner launches you saw in Blackout, where I just sort of magically flew into the air. One of them we couldn't do because low jump, but that second one we did hit, thankfully. New little achievement. And into the repetition section, where we're back in this little area, but it's a little different. Why was that pulled? That fire alarm is not supposed to be pulled unless I click that. Okay, well, one less collectible to get, I guess. We complete that, and then walk sideways and fall through the door. Move on from that section, and hit a frame perfect trick with this picture frame. And more repetition. It's very fun. But we are coming up onto a very annoying trick that I'm also scared will not work because of frame rate, where we're going to get another launch from a door. They'll either not work or send me absolutely flying, but we'll see that when it comes. I didn't prepare for frame rate. But here, hit this door and it should didn't throw us into the air. Okay, normally you get thrown into the air there, into this little room up there, because this door is a pain to deal with, because slopes in this game are a pain to deal with. Give that another try. This is what I mean, the door is a pain to deal with. There we go, okay. Got in there eventually. Only 2 collectibles, but they are very important collectibles because they count as all collectibles. More funness with perspective. It kind of starts to go off the rails around about now that we've passed the emergency exit protocol and have gone into too many dreams in a dream in a dream. This little thing, you're supposed to be tricked by that. There's a dice on the wall. As I said, there's a dice on the wall. You're supposed to try and spawn it in, but you fall down a hole. Now go into an elevator where the elevator doesn't stop me, go out the other way. Why are those signs yellow? They're supposed to be green. This puzzle, it looks like I'm just following it, but if you look the right direction first, that's where the wrong place will be. So you want to look at the wrong place to spawn the wrong place and then go the right way, and then you win. Kind of confusing. But past it, so it's not a problem, and we're speedrunners, so we know the solution. Bit of a pool room here that we kind of just gonna fly up here with our cube and skip some stuff. Normally that cube's supposed to respawn for you, but obviously we don't need it. Pretty easy puzzle. We just place the queen on the button. Just kidding, it is a painting. We have to use this rook to get through the door and bring it back with us so we can launch into the ceiling, hopefully. There we go. Fly up to grab that and fall down. I missed that. Fortunately, it's not that big of a deal. I can just reset checkpoint. There are some atrocious checkpoints, like that door we did before. It brings you all the way back to that weird triple reset with the alarms, but we didn't need to. Fall down again. Instead of grabbing that cube, we'll take a quick detour. Blueprint. And grab this cube to climb up there. Instead, it actually teleports us. We fall into the floor and constellation room. Yeah, hard to kind of keep track of where we're going, but fast. Hopefully you are slightly keeping up. If not, no, sorry. But there, new constellation. That it does have collision on the top, even though it's gone. I only discovered that today while practicing. But now we can actually move along. A bit of brightness, because it accommodates for it being dark. But we bring our cube with us. And once again, grab another cube that's definitely not going to teleport us to a different room. And once again, definitely not another teleport about to happen. And go back here. We can't go back there too fast, because there is a checkpoint we collect to quickly reset. Here we go. Grab the alarm clock into a maze of elevators that we know the solution for. And finally coming up to the end, we're going to hop into this elevator that teleports us to a different area, to a car parking lot, which doesn't really exist. It's sort of fake, and we get trapped in. We have to trigger all 4 walls of the fake cut parking lot to spawn in the end, which you're not supposed to be watching, but it kind of just does spawn in. And finally, before we finish, one more collectible on top, if it's going to let me. Nice. Okay. Bit scuffed. Oh well. And now into my favorite level, which is going to be incredibly confusing. White space. If this wasn't confusing enough, by the way, it gets worse. So first, we are in this room. That is the portal to the room we are currently in, and if it's going to let me, we are going to resize it. Don't know why we're going so slow. It's going to throw it at our feet to make it small, and place it next to a small village, which we can then go through the door, and end up there. The Jungle's Bistro. Some little groovy tunes. But we don't stay here for long, because we're going to one of 4 resets of this level. Once we collect that, yep. We're going to be restarting 4 times. That's 1. Here we go. Second one. We're going to grab it there, so we can go straight here. A quick collectible in the vending machine, and go out of bounds. My favorite part. Where we can basically navigate through the level. Yeah, there you go, okay. That's never been that small. It's like a speck of dirt. But we put it in that portal. That is supposed to be because of how the game is intended to work, where you're supposed to put the portal in itself and cause a paradox. And in case you make yourself small, it sets yourself to 1 times scale. But that works with every portal, so we can just put it in there and be a normal size. Go for a quick swag strat here that I don't think saves time. Yep, there you go. Where you can clip on top, because that's technically a portal, and you hit the portal while going through, thankfully, and saves, I think, the time of ledge grabbing kind of negates going through it normally, but oh well, looks cool. But final reset, which is likely going to fail a few times, is the launch. Void launch, where we're going to basically walk off the edge of the map, walk forward, and launch ourselves into the end trigger, hopefully. You're not going to be able to really see anything, though. It's just going to be quite just white. So I have to do a quick setup here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. Into the end. And time will start it. Sorry, I'm actually a bit stupid. I missed one. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Whoops. I forgot, you have to do it one more time. Yeah, it's not done yet. Got a little bit more. And thankfully, it's a bit more. Yep, it's more of this. Oh, that's what I missed. Okay, I got confused. I haven't played this game in a bit. So we're going to I'm actually going to restart. Just reset our size again. And try it again. I forgot I need to do that. And do that. Throw ourselves out of bounds again. And be where we need. Grab that, and here's more up close. There's the nuclear bomb as thunder. I forgot to warn you about that. It comes quite fast. Here, fall through the floor into sort of monochrome area. And collect the last few collectibles. And we're going to walk into this seemingly shadow area, just into the wall for no reason. There's actually a tunnel, which leads us to the next part of the level. And collect the final collectible, which... Now, I'm gonna... Because I've already completed the level, I'm just gonna load the final level, which time will come in about a few seconds. So time is there. There you go. There you go, every collectible, there's just nothing in there, so it's all red. So, yeah, thank you for having me. I kind of scuffed commentary because I didn't have anyone here. But yeah, thank you for having me, and good luck to the rest of the runners.
Thank you for that run. We had $10 come in from Anonymous for the farming simulator incentive. Thank you so much for that. And we had a $15 donation come in from Ukulele, who says, I absolutely have to donate for the Final Fantasy X duet song. Looking forward to the lovely harmonies tomorrow. So that was towards the Final Fantasy X-2 incentive to sing the 1,000 words song, which is 50% completed. Thank you so much for all the donations so far. That is the end of my hosting shift, so thanks for having me and look forward to the next runs coming up. See you, everyone.
Alright, so we're gonna get going with the next run, which is gonna be Spyro Reignited Trilogy Year of the Dragon, run by our very own lovely tech staff member, Clock District. Let's take it away, Clock.